Well, it's been a year. They didn't cancel us. We didn't get fired. And they said, we want you to do more. So we got you a pretty cool guest. If you're a hockey fan, you're going to love who we have on today. It's Jeff Marek. Do I need to say anything else, Sam? No, I don't. But we will. Jeff Marek joins us next for our 1-year anniversary special right here on DLLS. Let's go.
Ready, boys.
This is the DLLS Stars Podcast for Tuesday, August 26th. It is our 1-year anniversary. Hooray, we've made it.
Yay.
A year ago today, we started this talking about, Elijah, watch out for that bell, Joe Pavelski, ding. But before we get into today's show, quick announcement. If you didn't see this yesterday, we have a special football club sale going on for the diehards as we speak. $36 for your first year of signing up to be a diehard, and you get a free football club t-shirt to go along with a full year of top-level access of being a diehard. So go to alldls.com or just scan the QR code, and you can be a diehard. We are going to have a special surprise appearance at the end of the show today from Sean, but let's not bury the lead. Our guest today from The Sheet on Daily Faceoff. He is the host of many things hockey, but now The Sheet. It's the great Jeff Marek joining us on today's show. Jeff,
This is
an absolute pleasure that you joined us today.
First of all, listen, this show is like much too good to have me as the anniversary guest. You know what they say about me and my career, guys? A mediocre man is always at his best. That's kind of my career right now, falling to new heights and sinking to new depths. I am flattered that you would have me on your anniversary show. And first of all, I got a ton of questions for that man to my left, your right, that we're going to get to hopefully over the course of the next half an hour. But gentlemen, nice to be on with you today.
Seizing the show, right?
Jeff, hang on.
I know, right?
That opening of that shot, can Jeff see that?
Oh, he saw it.
Yeah. Did you see that? What we opened with, Jeff?
That's the headshot.
What were you, 12?
That's
Were
the
you 12
headshot.
in that picture?
I was 11, Craig. As a matter of fact, I know. I was actually dragging a razor across my face, and I'd actually combed the feathers, and I'd actually put on a shirt and tie, fake the funk on television, and put on some Mac 30 to smooth out all the wrinkles. But today, you guys just get the coffee shop look. Like it's August 26th, boys. Like it's coffee shop look time for me. But yeah, that was, I don't know when that. I got to update my headshot because I look nothing like that guy who used to fake the funk on a regular basis on TV. How's it going, boys?
Well, I'm going to fawn on you just for a second if you'll indulge me. I know you said before we started that you had me fooled, but I loved your and Elliot's work together. I love your and Wish's work way back in the day. Your show now.
You're one of the OGs.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time. I love the random rule changes you would always spring on Friedman.
Oh, they were so dumb.
And he would say that, but it's always interesting. I'm here for the thought exercise, even if it's ultimately fruitless.
Yeah.
So
can I drop another one on you guys?
I'd love you to, please.
Okay. Think about this one. Just like here we are, we're just throwing this around. It's a summertime. We're just trying to make the game a little spicier. I see no reason why outside of the opening of a period or after a goal, we should ever have a face-off in the neutral zone. Neutral zone face-offs, too far away from the net. The idea is to keep the puck hot around the net as often as we can. So if you go offside, the puck goes all the way back into your zone. The face-off is right beside the net where all the action happens. Blue line to blue line, as we all know, that's a place to gather speed if you're on the attack. But really, it's the empty calorie zone. Why not at least entertain the idea of getting rid of face-offs in the neutral zone outside of beginning of a period or after a goal. I submit it to the panel of 3. What do you guys think?
I know Luds is going to hate it already.
The biggest critic.
Mr. Negativity.
I'm sitting here going, like, what do you do? Do you not have a life?
I knew he was going to say something.
Well,
bizarre.
Craig.
Well, I'm
Craig.
curious. Like, are you and
Hey,
Steve
no,
Coolius
Craig.
related? Are you
Craig,
and Coolius related?
We actually, Coolius and I used to, it's funny you mentioned Coolius. Coolius and I used to work together at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame at Ontario Place about 1 million years ago. So if you think we're annoying individually, Craig, just imagine us together for an entire summer. And to your original point, do I have a life? No. And it's obsessing about things like this for so long that kept me single for as long as I was, Craig. Trust me, I was the man women forgot for the longest time in my life, just because I would obsess about things like face off in the neutral zone. True
So
story.
I'm a big fan of the if you're offside. Sure, let's do that. The only one I would like to add an amendment to, Jeff, would be if there is a referee or linesman mistake, then you get a center ice. You know, if they call icing by accident, or if there's an inadvertent whistle, or they
goes to the center?
make a play and go, oops, you know what, we messed up. Then you put it at center ice. Other than that, let's do it.
I think if you go offside, you have to pull your goalie and play the next minute without a goalie.
Well, we're going to get completely derailed here because I still don't like you're allowed to ice the puck when you're on a penalty kill. Like that drives me nuts.
That's a real one. That's one that should
well,
really
this could be real too.
Our guys can't. They implemented it with our games now, kids too. But
Can't ice it?
No, on PK.
Yeah.
You should not be allowed
no
to
way.
have a free icing on if you're down a man.
All right.
So anyway,
You want to ask questions? He also wants to ask questions.
well, I do want to ask a
guys
question,
have to fight
but it
for the
really has
lead.
nothing. I have some great questions, but nobody else is.
Isn't
gonna
that
enjoy
all
it.
you do is ask great questions?
I know. No, seriously, Jeff. I mean, you've been in this this game forever. I always like to start at the top, and let's start with Gary Bettman.
Okay.
I mean, he's grown the game, crazy, right? How long is he going to be in that chair? And who is
Great
the
question.
guy? Is Bill the next guy, or do you think they go outside somebody else?
It's a great question, and right now, as you can tell, with whether it's this next round of expansion, franchise is now worth $2 billion. A CBA done clean, like without a lockout, a CBA that's done well in advance of the expiration of the current CBA. Like right now, you can make the argument that's been happening for the past few years. Gary Bettman is writing, the legacy part of his career, which is already a Hall of Fame career. Craig, I'm always reminded of one thing. Whenever you want to criticize the commissioner, you should always be mindful of one thing, and that is since 1993, when he took over from Gil Stein, who was an interim after John Ziegler, he's had one job. You can make the argument there's only one job that Gary Bettman has, and that is increase franchise value. And everything is to the service of franchise value. And now this has gone from a multi-million-dollar league to a multi-billion-dollar league. There's going to be another round of expansion where the expansion price is $2 million to say hello. I mean, it's gotten to a place that, listen, Craig, I'm old enough to have watched your entire career. And, when you played, franchises were nowhere close to the value that they're at now. And to your previous question as well about who's the next guy, I'm going to assume it's Bill Daly. Now, do the NHL governors want someone who's younger, who will be with them in that capacity for, 40 years or 30 years? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that at least the next guy, whether it's an interim or he's going to have the job, is going to be Bill Daly, the deputy commissioner. And I'll go you one more step. It looks to me as if, whenever the NHL, whenever Gary Bettman, resists things like, changing playoff formats, etc., I always think, Craig, in the back of my mind, what Gary Bettman is actually doing is setting Bill Daly up for the time that he takes over to get some easy wins. Get some easy, simple wins under his belt that the fans can all get behind. Because listen, he's walking into a situation when he finally becomes a commissioner where, the Canadian television deal is done. This next round of expansion is going to be done. The CBA is done. International hockey seems to now finally have a robust and consistent international calendar. It looks like there are a couple of easy wins here that are being set up for whomever takes over, and I do expect it to be Bill Daly.
Yeah,
I know you want to jump in.
Well, I
had this
I
flow
have three
going,
questions too, but you just mentioned international hockey, so I'm going to ask you straight up.
Finding good help.
I'm going to ask you straight up, Jeff, who starts in goal for the U.S. at the Olympics?
It is Connor Hellebuyck's net to lose. And is there a chance he loses it? Yes. And if so, listen, I remember going back to that Calgary Flames series against the Dallas Stars and watching Jake Oettinger and saying to myself, we're watching the next Carey Price. Now, it hasn't quite worked out to that lofty place where we're starting to compare Jake Oettinger to Carey Price, but I'm a big Oettinger fan. I think that, and I wouldn't put too much stock in what we saw in that series against the Edmonton Oilers. I think that Jake Oettinger is one of the premier goaltenders in the NHL, and I would not be surprised if two things happened at the Olympics. One, the United States won gold, and two, Jake Oettinger was a goaltender of record. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on a Dallas cast. Like you ask anyone, I'm legit and have been for a long time a big supporter of Jake Oettinger.
So, Jeff, how does Hellebuyck lose the net or vice versa, Jake get the net?
Good job, Sam. Well, that's the best follow-up question you got.
That's right.
Well, because I'm curious.
You took my flow away.
I'm curious.
The commissioner.
Oh, boy.
You took it away from me, but that's good recovery.
Jeff, ignore the rambling man to my right. But I
got to ask him questions later.
No, but my follow-up is because I'm curious only because Hellebuyck's regular season, we already know what he can do. And Oettinger, we know what he can do in the playoffs sometimes. Yep. So how in a 3-month span of the regular season do you decide that?
I'll go back to I'll go back to 2002 and Team Canada and how Curtis Joseph really fell out of favor and how decisions are made quickly. Like when you find yourself in a situation where not just every game matters, but every period matters, you have to make decisions quickly. Now, I do think that right now it is Hellebuyck's net to lose. But let's say, and I don't necessarily expect it to happen, but let's just say like Connor Hellebuyck has a miserable start to the season. That's enough that in a short tournament, you can't just say, well, he's going to be our default guy, so he's going to get the first start. If he does and he falters in the first one, we've seen it before, where coaches have had to make tough decisions and you go to another goaltender because you can't afford to see a goaltender scotch all the good work that everybody else is doing around them. You don't want to be the team that lost just because of the netminder. I mean, it is possible, right? Like, listen, part of me, like right now for Team Canada, for example, Jordan Binnington has the net, but it wouldn't surprise me if, by the end, Samuel Montembeault ends up being the guy for Team Canada.
Jeff, you have to understand, Stam goes to bed with little stuffed otters. Like he loves otters, so he's got little otters and pictures.
You're actually wearing his shirt today.
Well done.
This is a company shirt. I did not make this
that
shirt.
You've been whining about not having since the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Owen. You're going through withdrawals over there.
I can understand why. Like, Ottinger's awesome. Like, and the other thing I liked about Oettinger was how he handled the situation last year after Edmonton beat Dallas. Like, that guy was a pro. That guy wasn't emotional. That guy was a thorough professional in a very challenging situation for him personally and career-wise. I was really impressed at how Oettinger composed himself.
Boy, that's a perfect segue to our break in our ads, and then we'll get back into that because I want to ask Jeff about Oettinger, Gulutzan. In between that, DeBoer, maybe we'll talk
obviously we're done, Sam.
Jason Robertson. You guys can get into that too. Next, you're on DLLS.
But first, I get to tell you about Monarch Money. Feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch Money, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface, either on your laptop or phone, maybe even on whatever this is that Craig Ludwig uses. And right now, just for our DLS listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. That's 50%. Why should you use it? Because it is the best tool at giving you a clear picture of everything in one place. They call it the Financial Command Center. All of your investments, your credit cards, your accounts, your investments, everything is in one place so that you can keep track of your goals, keep track of everything in the past, and try to strive for your financial goals that may sometimes feel out of reach. It is Forbes' best app for couples, as I told Owen yesterday, and he was very excited about that.
Very.
Names best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. The reasons go on. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DLLS at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year. monarchmoney.com with code DLLS.
Thank you, Sam. Let's talk about game time. You know, college football season is back. Sam's super excited because he's a big Miami Hurricanes
Let's go.
fan. I'm a Syracuse Orange fan.
Oh, barf.
I know they've
For
actually
many
were
reasons.
pretty good last year, but they
beat
haven't
Miami.
been for football. Yeah, I know. I was going to bring that up, but anyway, here's the great thing about it: you can get tickets to all your favorite games with Game Time, and they have advantages by unlocking the experiences, the incredible 100% authentic tickets offered, best prices, plus fees are always included, so you're not getting confused by what you're paying. You see it up front. And, of course, you can get college football tickets with great deals as low as $25. So what do? You take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. By downloading the Game Time app, you create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account, redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. It's a different read that time. I know.
I like that.
All right, Jeff, we have a lot
read.
to get
Good
to.
read.
Let's talk about Jake Oettinger and Pete DeBoer for a minute. And
Sure.
we've spent a lot of time, as you can imagine, on our show, breaking it down, going through it. What was your take about how that all went down in Game 5 of the Western Conference Final, the aftermath, and then what's happened since?
Okay. First of all, I don't think that ultimately Peter DeBoer was fired because of that last game against the Oilers and how he handled Jake Oettinger. Like it's been, the story's been well told about, you didn't hear that he was getting the hook and et cetera. You've been through this before on your show. I think that at least it felt like that was the whole Peter DeBoer thing was sort of building to a certain inevitability, one that we've seen with a lot of DeBoer's teams before. And I know that there is a history there of how he's handled goaltenders. So I don't think we can just exclude the Oettinger situation from that context. But I don't think it was the sole reason why Peter DeBoer was dismissed as head coach. We've always heard about coaches having shelf lives. And that's certainly true with just about anyone whose name isn't John Cooper. As for the coaching, Dallas to me, and first of all, I like the Dallas Stars. I like the organization. I like a lot of people there. I like a lot of the players. But I look at Dallas, and I always to me, the Dallas Stars behind the bench have always been, I'm going to use a crass analogy here, like a toilet seat at a Stag and Dough, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So let's go back to I'm trying to put myself, Craig can sympathize with this more than anybody else here, including myself. But I look at it and I say, there's been a lot of coaches that have had different styles. And I always look at coaches and I say, this coach represents this kind of score or this kind of game. And if you go back to Lindy Ruff, and man, that was fun when Lindy Ruff coached the team because every game was like 6-5, it's rock and roll, here we go. And that was fun. And then from there, they went from a coach that coached a 6-5 game to Ken Hitchcock, who coached a 2-1 game. Like, okay, now the players have to pivot and change again. And from there, they went to Jim Montgomery, who was a 4-3 coach, sort of right in between Hitchcock and Lindy Ruff. And then we all know the situation that happened to Jim Montgomery. And they went to Rick Bowness, and it became a 2-1 team all over again. They go to Peter DeBoer, and once again, it's a 6-5 team. So you're kind of in this yo-yo between, you have coaches that'll coach a 6-5 style game and coaches that'll coach a 2-1 style game. And if you're Dallas, what you're hoping for now is Glen Gulutzan can be that in-between coach, the one that is in between the Lindy Ruff 6-5 or the Pete DeBoer 6-5 and the Ken Hitchcock, Rick Bowness 2-1 game. It seems to me, based on roster composition and who this Stars team is, you want that coach that is a 4-3 coach, not a 2-1 coach, not a 6-1, not a 6-5 coach, but a 4-3 coach. If you're Dallas, that's who you're hoping you're getting in his second go round here with the Dallas Stars. Does that make sense?
That feel to you, Luds?
I have, wow. I have so many thoughts in there. And in my first one that comes to mind, Jeff, do you look at Jim Nill and say, when you're talking about this coaching style, that coaching style, and it leads me to the series last year, obviously, with Edmonton. And I've asked this because it's pissed me off for a long time. It bothers me about the whole Rupe Hintz Nurse chop on the foot, and then Bouchard, the next chop on the foot with zero response, nothing. And then the one line is, I believe that Pete said, and I think Pete's a good coach. Let's get that straight. I think he's a good guy, everything else. But somebody asked him the question, and it was like, well, the answer was, well, we were looking to score goals. We had to catch up. And I'm thinking, what was the score? Were they down by 12 or 9 at that point?
When Nurse did it, it was like a 3 or 4 goal deficit. And then when they did it, when Bouchard did it, it was earlier in the game, but it was that's your number one center.
Well, Jeff, the whole problem with me with the Bouchard thing, it was right in front of the bench, and it was Wyatt, and I don't expect Wyatt Johnston to jump, but chop him back, do something. So, anyways, when you're watching that game, do you have any thoughts at that moment also?
Oh yeah, tons. And same wavelength as you. I look at the team that's won the last 2 Stanley Cups, the Florida Panthers. Like, intimidation is still a thing in hockey. As much as we talk about skill and skating, and that's what this is still a tough game and a dangerous game played by large men on a 1/8 inch blade of steel. And intimidation is still very much part of it. And the reason the Florida Panthers, outside of being a wonderful 200-foot team and the defense is great and Bobrovsky's going to the Hall of Fame, is this is a capital T team. You hit one, you take on all. It's like the old Flyers, right? Like we do everything as a pack, and that's what the Florida Panthers have always done. And I'll go even one further. They don't mind being the bullies. Like they will show up, they'll kick sand in your face, they'll take your per diem, they'll take 2 points, and they'll go home. And the reason that Bennett can act like that, the reason Brad Marchand can act like that, the reason Aaron Ekblad can act like that, is they do it because they can. And nobody is going to stand up to them, and no one is going to try to stop them. And listen, we saw this with the Buffalo Sabres when Tage Thompson got rocked last year. And everybody, the Buffalo Sabres on the ice, were staring at their skates and looking for loose change on the ice, and no one did anything about it. The only one here has been an NHL locker room is Craig here and Craig Ludwig. And you can tell us, Craig, what that does to a bench and what that does to a team when one of your guys gets rocked and no one does anything and they're looking for loose change. It crushes your spirit. And the whole time when that was happening to Rupe Hintz, I'm saying to him, is anybody going to do something? I mean, anything? One of the reasons why Tampa is always a great team, you touch one of their guys, everybody's on you. It doesn't matter who it is. Anthony Cirelli, Braden Point, Brandon Hagel, they're on you right away. And you don't have to be Nick Delorier. You don't have to be Matthew Olivier. You don't have to be Matt Rimpey to do anything. You do it against Tampa. You do it against Florida. You do it against some of the tougher teams in the NHL. It is a pack mentality. And listen, I will defend Jim Nill here because I know that is something that Nill has been looking for. Before Matthew Olivier re-signed with the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm firmly a belief that was a target for the Dallas Stars. Like they wanted him or someone like him. I don't think that search is over for the Dallas Stars. And I think to the point about what happened last year against the Edmonton Oilers, I think that just sort of reinforced that this team still, if you're looking for missing ingredients, still needs to be tougher. That's one of the ingredients they still need.
Jeff, I know this is a topic that you are interested in, and it's one that I'm actually really interested in hearing your take on. Maverick Bourque.
Neutral zone faceoffs? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yes, exactly. No, Maverick Bourque signs a 1-year deal. I believe it's $950 AAV. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere this week, he changes agents. So he was a guy that people talked about, offer sheets, all kinds of stuff about him, and none of that really happened. Why did this happen, and what's your take on it?
So Olivier Fortier is an agent with Wasserman, and Wasserman is one of the top agencies. Like they're there with CAA, Newport, et cetera, Cortex. It's a tremendous agency. They represent, amongst other players, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Roman Josi. You go right down the list. Like it's kind of a murderer's row of players. When players change agents, it's a signal that they want something to happen. And if you're Maverick Bourque and you're looking at the opportunity that's in front of you right now, like Maverick Bourque is either going to play with, Rupe Hintz and Mikko Rantanen, or he's going to play with Wyatt Johnson. He's going to play in your top 6. He's going to have a monster season. Like we all, like if you're looking like who's going to have the big breakout season, who's going to quote unquote come out of nowhere and put up big points, I think you can look at Maverick Bourque and say, yeah, he's one of the candidates. Like he's right there, AHL scoring champion. Like he's done everything at the American Hockey League level, and he's ready to break out in the NHL. He's a legitimate NHLer. And when I saw him go to Wasserman and Olivier Fortier, my first thought was he knows he's about to have a big year. And he wants a big agency behind him when he signs his next contract. That's kind of how I looked at that one. He knows something big could happen with him because he's playing top 6 on one of the best offensive teams in the entire NHL. That's why I looked at it.
Our big question about Bourque is, can he play on the left side? Because he's a natural centerman. There's not any room right now in down the middle for the Stars in Dallas. Obviously, he did that with Texas a lot. But there is a hole because of, and we could get into this later if we have time, the Mikko Rantanen trade. They couldn't keep Mikael Granlund or even Mason Marchment for that matter. But we have to talk about Jason Robertson because you were at the forefront of a lot of stuff over this offseason in talking about trade rumors personally. And we talked about this at length, of course. I think it'd be insane to trade Jason Robertson. I understand why they might have floated his name out just to see what the value is. But what was your take about why his name kept coming up and what was the motivation behind it?
Okay, I'm glad you got us here because there's a lot of layers to this one. I want to preface everything with I'm firmly of the belief that it is Dallas's first choice to keep Jason Robertson. Yep. In a perfect world, this guy is on the Dallas Stars. Issue is we live in a salary cap universe, as we all know. And we all know some of the holes that the Dallas Stars need to fill to take the next step. I think there is a number that the Dallas Stars are comfortable with going along with term. I would assume max. Couple of things here. One, I agree or disagree with me on this one because you guys are a lot closer to it than I am. I don't think that Jim Nill is going to put the Dallas Stars in a situation where they get, for lack of a better term, marnered. I don't think that Nill wants to put the team in a situation where Robertson plays the year out, doesn't have an extension, and walks. I don't think that Nill wants to put the Stars in that situation. Okay. 2, I think that chemistry is a real sensitivity around this situation. And that's why I think they want to get this one put to bed. If I'm guessing, probably before training camp, because you want to know what you have. You don't want to start building up chemistry and then have to move the player because you can't arrive at a number. Another point, I'm of the belief that Mikko Rantanen's contract is the ceiling for forwards for this team. Like I think that, Thomas Harley is going to sign a massive deal with the Dallas Stars, probably in the 9 to 9.5 range on a max term of 8 years. And I think the top dog when it comes to forwards and compensation is Mikko Rantanen. So then you start to ask yourself, and again, this is going to sound like I'm insulting Jason Robertson. I'm not. He's one of the elite players in the NHL. But Mikko Rantanen's a different creature altogether. Is Jason Robertson $1 million less than Mikko Rantanen? $1.5 million less than Mikko Rantanen? $2 million less a player than Mikko Rantanen? And is there a disconnect between how Robertson's camp feels about Robertson by way of compensation and how he ranks up against Mikko Rantanen, and how the Dallas Stars want to construct their roster and position players in a slot that they're comfortable with? The other thing that Robertson, I think, is probably weighing here is, even if you don't ring the bell the way you might want to, one, you're on an elite level team in the NHL, for Western Conference Finals, a Stanley Cup appearance, one of the top teams in the league, and B, this is the last year you can sign an 8-year deal. And if you go to free agency, all of a sudden you're looking at 6. So I think these are all the things that are in play right now and have been in play all summer. Again, I will preface it by saying, I believe Dallas wants this player in the lineup, but there's a price. And I'm sure that that Jim Nill knows what he can get for Jason Robertson out there in case he needs to pull a trigger and they come to a position where they're too far apart and there's no place to meet in the middle on a contract. And I'm sure that just because Nill is this way, like, there will be a line. And we saw this, a few years ago with the John Klingberg contract negotiation. There's a line that Jim Nill will not cross. I think Jim Nill always tries to be fair to players, but there was always a line that he won't cross, which is why I'm of the belief, one, I can see Harley getting done before Robertson, so they know what they have with Jason Robertson. But two, knowing how important this year is for the Dallas Stars, I really do think that this is something that Dallas wants to do sooner than later. I don't think they want this contract situation hanging over the team, considering how important a year it is, going into this season. That's where I'm at with Jason Robertson. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Everybody
I was going to say we could do a full hour of that. Just that topic.
Before you ask him the last thing you want to, my follow-up, Jeff, would be, I wonder, because the team still has control, he's an RFA with arbitration rights after this year, how that affects it versus being afraid of losing him for nothing. They still have team control. And does that change the valuation depending on how he plays? If he makes Team USA, which we all think he should, if he plays like he did when he was healthy last year, obviously wasn't at the start of last year and got better after, I'd say, maybe the Christmas break and on. He was one of the best forwards in the league as far as goal scoring. I understand, and I agree with you. I think Mikko Rantanen's salary is the ceiling, but what is Jason? And I don't know the answer to this. We talk to Jason all the time. He's a very thoughtful human being. He's obviously incredibly talented, and goal scoring is at a premium, and he's one of the few natural guys out there that way. The question I have is his camp, and I don't know the answer to this, willing to, because they want a certain number, a certain value, willing to leave what seems like a good fit for him, both personally and professionally, to chase that number. I don't know Mitch Marner at all, but it felt like he needed a change of scenery. I don't feel like that's necessarily the case with Robertson.
Yeah. The one thing that I didn't point out was, I don't think that, to the point about, he's got the hammer at the end of this with arbitration rights. I don't think that Dallas wants to hand that to him.
Interesting.
Right? Like, I don't think that they want to go through this year and then get killed in arbitration. And I really don't think that Jim Nill has any desire to see that, because honestly, let's face it, like, he's got a great case.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
He does.
You can have a great case, but then when you factor in, are you happy? Are you making enough money? You're on a winner. How much does that mean to you? I think all that goes into the decision here on Jason Robertson.
All right, Jeff, we're going to go to a quick break, but we're going to tell you to stay for a few more minutes after this break so you can ask Craig Ludwig a few questions. So more with Jeff Marek and Craig Ludwig right after this. You guys didn't know that I could lead us into breaks as well. I'm a man of multiple talents. But what you do know is that the DLLS Cowboys team is headed to Luds. Where are they going?
They're going to, well, we're not going to Vegas,
going everywhere.
But I heard they're going to Vegas.
They're going everywhere, including Las Vegas, with true fan travel for the ultimate fan experience in November. DLS is taking over the Strip for an unforgettable weekend in Vegas, and you need to be there. Join us as the Cowboys take on the Raiders on November 17th, Monday Night Football. It is sure to be a good game. I know Ardell will be psyched for that one, along with many Cowboys fans. Hopefully, by then, the Cowboys are not a horrible team. Right, Elijah? A 3-night stay at a luxury Vegas resort, game tickets, VIP parties, exclusive events with the DLS Cowboys crew and fellow diehard fans, and much, much more. It's going to be a great time. You guys should be there. This is how Dallas does Vegas. So book now at truefantravel.com. But there is more to talk about than just the Cowboys crew. We can also talk about the Stars and all of our amazing apparel. Let's start with the Otter shirt because I'm wearing it right now. Jake Oettinger shirt, one of our favorites that was released, I believe, last year during the playoffs. Very cool shirt that we have that is one of our top sellers. One of our top sellers across the whole company is our Finnish Mafia shirt, which we have lost a member of the Finnish Mafia here with Granlund leaving the team to go to the Ducks.
Yes, Anaheim.
I was just checking because I accidentally said
you
the
are
Sharks
right.
earlier, but that's where he came from. But still plenty of Finns around here, including Mikko Rantanen, as Jeff Marek was talking about. Tons of awesome shirts. The Dallas collection that Luds was rocking, I think, yesterday. Amazing shirts. Still haven't gotten that mascot one. I've been waiting for that one to be able to show that and maybe wear it in the middle of the night and see if I can give someone nightmares. But plenty of amazing apparel on alldls.com. You could become a diehard. And even if you're not a diehard, we have a pretty cool newsletter that goes out every morning with all of the latest on all of our shows. Very well written. Lots of cool insights in there. So become a diehard. Get the newsletter. Do all the stuff. Scan the QR code right there. Go to alldls.com. Man, 2 minutes is long.
So Jeff is going to hang around for one more segment here because he...
I love that, by the way, that Nolan Ryan, Robin Ventura shirt.
Isn't that great?
Awesome.
That's the one I
great
picked.
shirt.
I love that one. Just
That's
feeding
one,
him.
Man.
Okay,
No.
so you said before we went live that you had a handful, piles of questions for Luds.
No, he didn't say piles.
No, I have the most frivolous question he's ever been asked.
Hit him.
I can't wait.
So when you think about Craig Ludwig, obviously, the shin pads, right? Like that's
hey Jeff, this isn't a roast, okay?
No, not a
today.
roast. No. I'm saying I'm not touching the shin pads.
Elijah, turn this up because I do not want to miss one syllable of what this clown is going to ask me or say about me.
If it is a roast, it's okay because Mark Spector
No.
was on our show yesterday and immediately chirped Luds about the shin pads.
That, you know what? We've all done the shin pads, and the shin pads were glorious. As again I mentioned earlier, I watched all of Craig's career, and I would marvel at shot blocking. I would also marvel, I don't know how this. I mean this as a compliment. You were so big and so strong at the same time, a really disciplined defenseman too. You could have laid waste to a lot of guys on a lot of nights, and you didn't. But one incident I do want to talk about. So, the Anaheim game. And the elbow on Solani. I don't want to ask about the elbow even because you know what? It didn't look that bad. The arm was. It didn't look that bad. I don't even want to talk about you throwing David Karpa's stick into the stands. Although that was pretty funny. I always appreciate when I see players do that. Here's what I want to ask.
He tried to shish kebab me through the camera hole in the glass.
Oh, is that what it was? That way. Well, I was wondering, how you got.
Well, are you talking about the big dumb
reaction.
defenseman there? What was his name?
David Karpa. David Karpa. But
listen.
I'm not going to ask you about that. Okay, go.
Oh, well, then, shit, I had an answer for that one. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm saying these are all the things about that I'm not going to ask you. You know what I want to ask you about? The linesman who grabbed in Montreal, that used to be, that was Team Canada's secret weapon back in '87 at the Canada Cup. That was the office, as they called it after practice. No, the linesman that grabbed you. Just so all of you viewers and listeners know, it was a guy by the name of Jay Scherers, war number 57. And I've seen when he breaks up fights, he was as strong as some of the players. He would grab I always said there was two linesmen you didn't want to grab you in a fight. One, Kevin Collins, because Collins loved to grab one guy first and didn't come in together, so it was always dangerous. But two, Jay Scherers, who as far as linesmen breaking up fights go, was always my favorite because when he would grab and he would squeeze, guy was so strong. You would see players buckle a little bit. Do you remember getting grabbed by Jay Scherers in that game? Because he had a good lock on you.
I don't. Honestly, I don't. I guess I blacked out for a little while. I felt like a bullfighter.
Everybody was chasing you. Everyone was going after you. You had a whole Ducks team chasing it. I remember I'm watching this oh man, this is if I'm Craig Ludwig, I do not want Jay Scherers grabbing me because he's the strongest linesman going, and I ain't going to break free here.
Did we win or lose that game?
You were up 5-1 when it happened. Oh yeah, and you were just fill your boots.
Wonder why I did that. I don't.
He had gotten around you on the boards. He had gotten around you on the boards. And my thought was that you
well, there you go. That probably would have did it.
You had him in the corner. And like, I don't know if there was an elbow as much as it was like your bicep that caught him. And I don't know. Everyone went banana sandwich on the ice, and everyone was chasing you around.
Well,
like
did you wait?
Eddie
Now,
Shack being chased by
you
the
seem to
Blues.
remember this play. Was
I
that
do.
actually was it a good elbow? Was it pretty apparent?
Your elbow was up. I just don't know that it was your elbow that made contact with his head as much as it was your bicep. I think you got a 2-gamer or a 3-gamer for that one. Like correct. It was high. Like everyone looked at this and said, yeah, it's a blowout score. Yeah, he's filling his boots.
I've seen it, and so I think where I did leave my feet, right? And I think shocker. Is that it?
got it?
100 and,
I'm guessing.
apparently it says 153 penalty minutes.
Okay, on
like
further
elbow to me,
review.
that's it.
I believe the head might be the primary
Okay.
point of contact there.
But is it his
further
elbow
review-
or is it his bicep? But is it? Hang on, let's go Zapruder film here. Is it elbow or bicep?
Okay, Jeff, let me just put it this way. Upon further review, it was an elbow. Okay. Everything that they said. But that was one of those, it was one of them times. And I know that, I don't know. But I do want to say that whole play with Karpa, like I want everybody to understand. I saw him coming. He was pissed off. And I don't blame him at all.
Oh, yeah.
But I saw him coming, and I saw him take his stick and turn it around. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? So now, and then as he's getting closer, I'm kind of standing up in the penalty box, and I'm looking down at the camera hole in the glass, and I see him, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to try to shish kebab me. Well, he did. And so I just played paid with a bullfighter there. As soon as he got up there, I just stepped to the side, then became the little tug of war thing. And that's how I ultimately, I felt I won that battle. I was in a good spot. I was behind the glass, but I won that battle. I got the stick. I handed it to somebody upstairs. And that guy above me, which I know didn't make it on camera, handed me a beer.
In the box?
And
No way.
I got to take a drink of the beer, and then I headed out across the ice.
Hold on a second. I never knew
and
this
then the
part of
best
the
part
story.
about it was
you got
poor.
handed a beer in the box?
Hey, the one I felt the worst for was Daryl Sador, because I'm sitting in there watching it on TV, and Sevy comes out, Brent Severin comes out,
Oh, no.
and he's got to find somebody to beat the hell out of, and he lines up against Sid,
Oh, yeah.
and so I felt bad for Sid.
Oh.
Do you
I
know,
apologize.
I have 2 anecdotes here. One, that was criminal. I just watched it
I'm
again.
watching it right now.
2,
Lonnie almost gets his head stepped
YouTube
on.
just asked me, Jeff, to put in my date of birth to make sure that I was old enough
Yes,
for what it said,
inappropriate.
inappropriate content. That's how bad.
on. That's what it said to
I
me,
kid
too.
you not. It
Yeah.
just said,
Not that
Oh my
bad.
goodness! Again, why do we
There it
got to
is.
do that?
that might
Is that
be
elbow?
to the head.
It's up. You know,
I think
it
it's
was a different
elbow,
time.
bicep, and
It was a
shoulder
different
all to the head.
time.
Okay, let's
Okay,
move on.
but you-
Jeff,
I love it.
Let me hang on.
Jeff,
No, wait, wait a
I
minute,
just
wait a
want to
minute,
thank you on
wait a
behalf
minute.
of all of us for being here today. I don't think, are we getting rid of them now?
We have to.
We
Can I
do.
make one point? Can I make one quick
Your
point?
show
Let me
should
just-
not be called The Sheet, by the way. Your show should be
Why not?
called Stirring the Pot.
Maybe, but let me make this first full circle. What did we talk about earlier? Someone hits your star. There's a
Yep.
response from
Yep.
every single player on the ice.
Yep.
Okay, you go high on Teemu Selanne, one of the best players in the NHL, star for the Anaheim Ducks. What happens? Everybody loses their mind on the ice, and everybody's chasing you around the ice. There's still room for that in the game, and I think we all understand it.
There you go, Sean Shapiro.
And Jay
is
and
saying
listen,
that
and Jay
Jeff is-
Shear and Jay Shears isn't in the league to break up the fights anymore. So fill your boots, go for it.
Yeah, Jay's a big boy.
And
Yeah.
by the way, you went and threw a couple of forearms to
Okay,
the
let's
face of
move
a guy.
past this. Let's move past this.
Like he was still
I think
in
I think
kill
he-
mode.
oh, let's
I
just
think
you
he
know.
got Trent Yanni once too. Didn't he get like
Hey.
a 5-gamer for Yanni?
I did, and now that was not intentional.
We should have
No.
opened the show with it.
But Jeff, can you imagine if that hit would have happened today?
Oh,
I wouldn't be out of the penitentiary yet.
you wouldn't be in the country.
I mean, I
anymore.
felt bad for him.
No.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
totally by accident. He should have never cut back. I do blame it on him, but
You just blame it.
I felt bad,
Talk
but I
about
blame
victim
him.
blaming.
hey, Jeff, though, I do want to say I think you are one of the best at what you do. I just love listening to you. I have
Thanks,
way
man.
more. I wanted to get into the whole NIL thing, but we can do that at a different time because
We'll
I
get
know
it
you're
done.
we're
Yes,
junior
come
guys,
back.
so-
We have a lot to get to,
Anytime.
but hey, Jeff,
Anytime.
seriously, it's a pleasure. Been a big fan. Nice to meet you, even digitally. But can't thank you enough for your time today.
Yeah.
It's been
Thanks
wonderful.
a lot, Jeff.
Listen. You afforded me the floor, and I got to ask Craig Ludwig some really cool questions. I was a huge fan. That Stanley Cup year. I don't know if you were in the sauna for the Larry Robinson speech to Patrick Waugh back in 1986, but that was a legendary team and a great one, and a great Stanley Cup championship, and I was right there for all of it. So thanks for having me on. Much appreciated.
Hey,
and boys, have a good
Jeff. Someday I'm going to tell you the story about remember when Pepe got in the big fight there against Philly? They jumped him. I'm going to tell you that story, what we were all doing in the locker room that all happened. So some other time we'll talk about that.
Dangling a carrot for Jeff Marek. And the next time you're on.
Hang on. That's like for a guy like me, that's catnip, dude. You can't just like leave that one out there, man.
Luds, you already went up to me.
Okay.
The next time, Jeff, that you come on, I'll tell you my Michel Petit beer league hockey story.
Oh, for God's sakes. Thanks, Jeff. Have a good day.
Thank you, Jeff. Mike Small, the best. Be good, boys.
There he goes, Jeff Marek, the host of The Sheet on Daily Faceoff, Monday to Friday, 3 Eastern time. Check it out. Up next, let's talk with Sean Shapiro about 1 year at DLLS. Man, I still can't get over this elbow. I've watched it before, but that was something else. It's
hilarious that it said inappropriate for something.
I was zoned out during your read. Were you talking Die Hard, or did you do the events?
I don't know, man.
I don't either. So let's just talk about being Die Hard. Football Club, look at that. $36 Die Hard event is on right now. It's a sale where right before the start of football season, not only can you get a Die Hard membership for an entire year, you also get a free Football Club branded shirt. Now, there are 3 different options. The one on the picture is the 88 Club. But there's also I believe, Elijah, there's a Dem Boys shirt, if you've seen that one. But check out the shirt if you have that graphic, the 88 or the it's the 88 one. It's anyway, really good looking, and it's new. It's a drop that just came out. It's not any of the previous DLS shirts. There's the 88 Club right there. That's really cool. They have a couple other Cowboys themed shirts specifically for Dallas DLLS, and you can get that along with a full Die Hard status. Being a Die Hard is, of course, great for interaction with us. There's the Die Hard only Discord lounge where you can get in and post stuff, and we will get in there. Luds will only get it if we ask him questions and deliver it. But Sam gets in there, Sean gets in there, I do every now and then. Tag us. If we're not there, we'll see it.
Don't tag at everyone.
Oh, no.
They will
listen.
They will murder you.
You diehards can whine about the at everyone, but when we're doing a call for questions or comments, we're going to use at everyone. So you just have to deal with it or learn how to mute it, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because you want to see it when we say, hey, give us your feedback. So it's a very give and take thing for diehards. They get to be a part of our show a little bit more, and we'll take your questions for big time guests when we have the time. Go to that QR code, sign up today, and don't forget, Ali has the newsletter now. It's great. Sign up for free. Just go to alldls.com and you can get the newsletter in your inbox of your email every single morning during the week. All right, let's bring Sean on. Sean got bumped a segment after being...
Oh, look at this guy.
He told us he had an extra segment in him at about middle of segment 2. Said, hey, I can be there segment 3. And then Jeff said he could stay on. So, sorry, Sean, but
too many people want to be on our show.
Instead, I spent the last 15 minutes updating my resume. So if anyone needs to hire a now out of work hockey podcast host because they've been replaced by Jeff Marek, you can find me at Sean Shapiro. I am available for work since Jeff is clearly Jeff and Luds are going to go off and do their own thing. It's going to be great.
I don't think any of us are going to be part of it anymore.
Did you see that carrot that Luds dangled in front of Marek at the end of the segment? Like, hey, I could tell you about that brawl in Montreal between the Flyers. Oh, that's. I mean, he's gonna lose sleep over that. Luds.
That will not be on camera.
Oh, you got to share at least that version. Okay,
that's the mattress pad. It goes under the sheet. That's the mattress pad.
Nice.
Hey. So, Sean, let's talk about this. It's a year anniversary today of us being on DLLS and everybody, right? And I guess I would give you the floor first, and then we'll ask these two knuckleheads. Any favorite or least favorite moments of the last 12 months of being on the Stars show, aside from me telling you it's an ad break time?
I was holding this thing, and I'm debating how far we dramatically go with this thing, but I've got the broken the whole,
yeah.
I think we're just gonna break that. So
by the way, he did that on the air for the company paid headset.
So
It would be really embarrassing if he couldn't have broke that, though.
Just
I'll bet you had a little cut in it before you did that.
Slice
So
it
we
open.
did
You probably
there
had a
to
little
make sure
saw
that
blade
it's
there. Yeah.
It's like the
we
baseball
fixed all
pitcher
of
goes
the,
to snap his bat over his knee and it breaks his knee instead.
That was the worst experience of the world because I could not deal with. I woke up just dreaming about bad jokes about being an aircraft controller or playing Xbox. So that was we moved on. We moved on past that. My favorite part of the stuff though has been times when, and I'm looking forward to again. We'll be down there in 2 weeks. Anytime I've been able to make it down there in person, that's been my favorite. It's been great just being in studio with you guys and just seeing what's been built down there in person. It's one thing to do it from where I am digitally and everything like that, but then to go see the in-person thing has been awesome. It's great to see the studio set up, to see the community that's been building. That's awesome. And it's been really cool to just to kind of get, I knew all three of you on different levels before we started this show. It's been awesome to have this show come together and and turn into something that's actually evolved and gotten better as we've gone along. So that to me is one of my favorite parts, where this is not just a show, but it's a community of hockey fans that have kind of grown with it and everything. And that's what I'll always remember about it. And I want to say 14, 15 months ago, this idea pops up to us from the folks at All City in some shape or form. And you get an idea that's pitched to you and it sounds intriguing and everything like that. And then when it comes to actually seeing the product in the final reality and getting to hang out with you guys for a couple hours each week and everything like that, I get paid to do this and I'm amazed at it. I think Sam literally first week, a year ago, a callback, if we want to go deep into the clips, Sam said, "Can you believe we get paid to do this?" And so I'm going to quote Sam from a year ago and say, I get paid to hang out with you guys for a couple hours each week, mostly digital, a couple weeks, they'll be in person again. So excited for that. That's my favorite part.
How about I can't believe we're still getting paid to do this.
Yeah, just the same old.
Yes. Yeah.
Like after a year, Luds, they haven't decided to tell us to take a hike. That's a plus. For me, I think it wasn't as bad as I make it out to be, but our first round of the draft, which was 5.5 hours, it felt like 13.
That was your favorite. That was your favorite time.
No, I'm going lease without a draft pick for the Stars, right? The only good thing is that GM Ben brought us Wendy's to eat, and there were some donuts and stuff. So I'm sure that all percolated really well in the stomach. But we got through it, Luds.
Yeah, I got to
Then
say,
you disappeared.
well, if
Yeah,
we're
you went to
talking about
Wisconsin.
the best part of this year for me happened a couple weeks ago when I discovered how to get on the website.
Oh,
the
get your PTO,
Ripple, whatever
get
it's
your
called.
PTO in.
How to use PTO. I am floored and flabbergasted about how good that mechanism is. I'm so pumped. I did it again last night. I just wanted to test it
Just
again.
racked
and it
up
worked.
38 days of PTO.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say.
Luds
Otherwise, it's
finally
been great.
figured out how to put in vacation time, and he's taking another day instead of trying to do it. How about the day you did join us behind the wheel,
Yeah.
driving to Wisconsin?
Yeah, I was
The first
just coming.
time.
I was just entering the cities. I was just entering. I thought, because it works the whole way. I mean, it works great. But I think probably because I was getting close to Minneapolis to the city, and we were kind of going in and out and stuff like that. And the good thing, I got that deal on my car, that assist kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
I
lane
wasn't really
assist.
paying attention a lot, and it kept on keeping me from hitting the cars next to me. I never had that thing before. But that was important. But again, yeah.
Don't do that.
How
probably a
about
bit
the
of a short
dumpster
listener.
fire at Hooters where John got up to get
Which
a
one?
camera, and the one where you jumped behind
Took
the controls and started finding the moose
Well, I
buttons
just
for
prove
the
it's
first
not
time.
that hard. What these monkeys do back here.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be the lead guy back there. All you got to do is hit a bunch of buttons. It's not that hard.
Well, you were able to get those
Elijah
images
says, I
up.
don't have to deal with you guys anymore.
That's
Yeah.
we got the new guy on. We got the new guy on deck.
Yeah.
He's like, wait,
Yeah.
what are you
Ryan's
saying?
about to-
Anybody can do this?
Ryan's about to question whether he should have said
Yeah,
yes
I
to
know.
this
Ryan
project.
won't last long either.
What about you,
We keep
Sam?
going through producers, though,
aside
man.
from
We're
bringing us
heading for our fourth one.
You brought us incredible content of not getting to the destinations you were intending to travel to.
I did?
A lot.
Which one?
Let's see. How many times did you get sick going from Carolina or Tampa to Carolina and back? how many times you didn't
Colorado?
get to Winnipeg or Edmonton.
I spent a lot of time in
you
Colorado.
went to Denver a lot more than you wanted to.
Yeah, I was in Colorado.
A lot of
And
time
you're going to go again.
A lot of time in the bathroom.
Yes, that was normal, though.
The sink broke in California. You got kidnapped by the Taliban a few times.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
You've had an interesting year.
But one of those trips where
you got engaged.
where I got sick, I got engaged. So there's a positive spin.
And
on
when
Ross.
you did, John played the "Who Are You People"
Yes,
drop, which
yes.
Katie will never forget.
Yes, he did. And we had the when I was in California, and we had the initial Hot Sam, and then Katie and my brothers joined the show, and we had
and then Elijah created the Hot Sam cam.
Yeah, the plumber in the background.
There it is,
Hot
right
Sam
there.
Cam. It's a lot of things. I will say,
Unbelievable.
I don't know why I'm on it with you though. That's a little annoying.
Well, usually it was because you weren't here, so I was just my solo.
It's the only
shot.
time he gets the ISO cam is when you're not here.
For
Love.
whatever reason. I don't know if these two were the same night or not. When I came to the studio after being at the rink, remember that night when I don't know if you guys were just going
Yes,
so long. Was
we
that
did.
when they beat Winnipeg to win that series? Was that Harley's overtime winner?
It might have been.
Because that series was my favorite of the whole thing. We had the fact that they won it, the way they won it, the games and everything, but the Hellebuyck drops
Oh my God, you were dancing
and
to that
songs
song every.
like that. And
It's
the fact
like
that I
catnip
got
for you,
and the
isn't
fact
it?
that I got to
It's a
drive
catchy little tune.
over here and sit here with you guys for an hour after the show was already over. That was a fun time.
Elijah, can you find the Luds version of that song? I don't know if that's right on your fingertips. but
Hellebuyck, buck, Hellebuyck, buck.
that is a catchy tune, isn't
Yeah,
it,
that's
Luds?
a good one. Luds likes it.
Sean, if you looked ahead for our viewers, our listeners, and wanted to predict year 2 for this show, what will you see out of it?
I predict Sam getting caught in probably not Denver this time. I doubt he ever books a travel connection through Denver again.
He's
So
going
I-
I'm
to
going
Colorado.
to Denver,
It's
but
his
only
first
to
trip.
Denver though, not to
Game 2
connecting.
of the season, he's going to Colorado.
But that's just direct, right? There's not a connection there, right? So
Just there.
I
and-
predict
and
he
stay
won't be
there.
able to make it home.
Ben said I have to
I-
book the flight 3 days in advance.
So I imagine Sam now picks Chicago O'Hare or something like that, thinking that's a good decision as his now mid connection spot. And so now we hear about the stories about getting caught in Chicago. Each year Sam will get caught in a different city that all city has somewhere. Unfortunately, we no longer have a Arizona base in hockey for him to get caught in. So I predict Sam to get caught in random all city locations, but. I
You
think
know what's
from
funny, Sean? He's going to end up becoming, I don't know if, I'm sure Luds hasn't, but if you guys have seen the movie The Terminal, he's going to end up with Tom Hanks, and he's going to be living in some airport terminal and not be able to leave.
They have good Wi-Fi. I can do the show.
That's true. Yeah.
On a serious note, though, from just kind of as the show grows, it's really cool to look back on year 1 and see how the show has grown and kind of bits have developed and people read off each other and it becomes a good show. I mean, we have people who the bits now move into the chat now where people go and have we have so many loyal listeners that join this every day, and I'm just really excited to kind of over the next year to watch that continue to grow. We kind of a year ago now, we came into this right before the start of an NHL season in August, obviously, and it was no one knew what the hell they were expecting. No one knew. I think we were allowed to swear for a couple weeks before we were told we were no longer allowed to swear. I missed that. So does Luds, I'm sure. And
Yes, he does.
it was. I'm really excited about us going into a season where people are going to be able to say, "Hey, this is where you want to go after Stars game ends. This is where you want to go for when you need to when it's Monday afternoon at 2:00, 1:00, whatever time we do the show that day, and you want to avoid work. We're the group you hang out with to avoid work for a bit of the day. So
You ready for this?
I'm excited. I'm
I wanna
excited
read this.
for us. You're
I'm
going to
sorry,
cut me
Sean,
off.
go
just
ahead.
because
We're
you're
starting
gonna
off
interrupt me
right.
just
He's cutting you
one
off
I
time
think
again.
that's what they want me to do.
Cut me off. Do it.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Check out alldls.com.
Continue.
The fact that we're gonna this community of people
perfect.
watching this show.
I'm going to be on
cut
the
me
ice,
off.
Sean, so shorten this up.
Yeah, this community of people watching this show is going to continue to grow. People are going to say, "Hey, if you're listening to the show now, people are going to be like, hey, this is where you go after Stars games ends digitally. This is where you go to talk to other Stars fans." And for me, that's one of the coolest things to kind of help build that outlet and see where that goes. There's a lot of weird stuff that's going to be talked about and everything, and that's great. So I'm excited about it all.
Well, in the chat, Ardell said August 26, 2024, quote from Craig Ludwig, "What the hell is a VPN?" Our first show. And then John said, or when Luds took over the computer and got the moose on the screen.
Yeah.
I told you they remembered that.
Excellent. That was excellent.
Ardell then said Sam destroyed toilets on both coasts, then acted like it wasn't him, freeballing the entire time. And then he said that you should be fighting with GM Ben about whether to fly on Spirit or on Frontier.
I think Ben is going to open a new airline just for me to travel on.
And
It's going to be even cheaper.
Ben did mention that there's possibility, maybe, another little trip to Cosmo.
Ooh.
Lots of fun events potentially.
I like that.
What about the one possible trip to Vegas, though?
Yeah,
Is
potential
that
trip
ain't never
for the
happened.
boys.
Let's not get our hopes up too
Potential
much.
video film session like
Film
last night.
session
the
with
Mavs had.
people.
Lots
Luds,
of events.
a final thought from you before you go out and whip up these U18s.
Here's my final thought: is I think that people are going to hear me not complaining about the system in the D zone this year.
You think so?
And I think they're all going to be.
So
happy
we're not
about
going to
it.
hear man-on-man
I
complaining?
don't believe that they're going to hear me complain about that.
Are
There'll
they
be something else I'll find, but I don't think you're going to hear that much.
Are we going to hear you talk about
I
how
just
much
want them to win. I
crush
want
these
my
guys?
float. I want my
Yeah,
parade.
yeah.
I want them to win.
Do you believe that they're going to crush these guys?
That's TBD.
It depends on how many times Ryan hits that drop.
Yeah.
I believe that they are going to crush these guys and finish his chicks.
So many.
Okay.
All right. Sean, Sam, Luds, Elijah.
Thanks for a fun first
Elijah's
year, everybody.
last day as a full-time producer. We might still see him, but thank you for carrying the water for this chaos train. He's been a
everywhere.
huge soldier
and
for
Sean's got
DLLS.
influence.
And a big thank you to Jeff Marek for joining the show
Yes.
today. Ben wants him to come. He does not want to go on camera. Ryan wants to drag him over there. Bobby wants him to get over there.
We're singing happy birthday.
The guy on
Is it
the
his birthday?
Rangers show who was called the Prophet joined our show and was like, these guys are wheels off.
Sean's got fireworks for you. There he is. Yes.
Yo. I'm out.
That's it. He'll
Well
still
done.
be around. Thank you, Elijah. All right.
That's the funny thing is we burned through 2 producers in a year already.
And they're both still here.
Our new producer,
Yeah, but not
Ryan,
working for us anymore.
is next. We'll see if
luck,
he can
Ryan.
handle this nonsense. But that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow, and we're doing Carolina Hurricanes talk.
Wrap it up, Owen.
We'll talk Stankoven and Rantanen and everything else. Thanks for joining us. Year 2 starts now.
That's Connor Hellebuyck.
We all silly like the mayor.